Kill me! I'm here! Kill me!
Hey everybody, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with my review of Logan, the 2017 comic book X-Men Wolverine movie that I really enjoyed a lot. Now, to give you a quick idea of my history with Wolverine, he's basically the character that actually got me into comic books back in the day, which is why, I absolutely love, I always do that wrong, I absolutely love this poster because the Hulk is my favorite character, superhero now, and when I first got into comics, Wolverine was. I loved the way that he was written. I loved how, he was this total badass, but he also was, always trying to find the inner peace. I just thought he was a very fascinating character. Now, over time, my love for him dwindled a little bit because I found them to be so ridiculously overexposed. I mean, the guy at any given time is in like 8 different comic books, and the storylines are supposed to be running concurrent. It makes no sense. He's in Avengers and X-Men and solo stuff and X-Force and everything, every book under the sun, and it just kind of drove me nuts. Maybe so I liked him a little bit less, but I still am a big fan of his character. And the problem is I liked him a lot in the first 2 X-Men movies when they first came out, but those 2 movies haven't aged as all that well. I think X2 is still pretty great on a lot of levels, but there are parts of it that don't come off nearly as well as they once did. And then X3 is X-Men Origins Wolverine. Oh god. The Wolverine I had very mixed feelings on. There was parts of it that I really liked. Like I loved the train sequence. I thought it was amazing. Like that fight on top of it was just done to perfection. I thought a lot of the moments were really well done. I basically liked everything up until like the end. I hated what they did with the Silver Samurai. I thought that was garbage. So I had kind of mixed feelings on that movie to a degree, and I thought there were some pretty shoddily written lines in there as well. But up until now, I didn't think that there was a really good Wolverine solo movie, and they finally did it. And it's funny that they took them taking the character into a future where he no longer has complete control of his body. It's not healing the way it used to. He's got a limp throughout the entire thing. He's weakened to a large degree. A lot of things that made him the character that I loved back in the day have been kind of taken away from him. You don't, in this movie, you don't have any moments of him trying to find like inner peace or whatever like that. If anything, he's angry when people kind of like talk to him about any of his anger issues or any of his, like, he drinks a lot in this movie and stuff like that. And like anytime anybody wants to talk to him about his feelings or any of that stuff, he's just angry. So like there's a lot of things I loved about the character back in the day. This movie's kind of the antithesis of it, but it also completely to me fits what makes the character great, because he's a character of extremes but of nuances at the same time, right? So you in this movie you have him where he's all for himself through a lot of it, and he only cares about keeping him and Xavier and alive, and to a lesser extent Caliban and then X-23. And there's several moments where he's more than happy to abandon people to their fate, because he that's not his problem. But then over time you start to see like the hero kind of cropping back up in him, and he even though he is the epitome of the anti-hero, the hero part of him comes to bear, and he can't help himself but go and kind of do what he thinks is right, even if for a moment he does something selfish for him and Xavier. And there's all kinds of moments in this movie too where Xavier and Logan are doing things that are like highly questionable and selfish and completely go against the grain of what you'd see in a normal superhero movie. Like there's a decision that they make that really puts some people in peril, and Xavier really puts some people in peril by his decisions. And there's a part of you that might be thinking, oh, that doesn't fit the way the characters are written, but in the way they set this movie up, the way that they're kind of beaten down by their situation, and the fact that there's no more mutants left and all that, it just works perfectly to make sense of how they're acting. For those of you who don't know what this movie is about, this is not going to be a spoiler review, so I'm not going to be giving away any like the intricacies any of the small elements of this movie. Sometimes the words just do not want to come out. But I'm not gonna give away any of the major like moments of the movie or anything like that, or I might talk around them a little bit or that kind of thing. But I will give you a bit of a plot synopsis where basically in this movie there are no more mutants left, and then Xavier uses his powers to identify that there is one, and it turns out to be X-23, who they refer to as Logan's daughter, and there's people that are trying to get to her to destroy her, and Logan, Xavier, and her go on the road to try to take her to a place where she believes she will be safe. And that's the basic gist of this movie. But the charm of the movie is in the way the characters have like their arcs, and the acting in this movie I think is really, really stellar. Like Patrick Stewart just nails it, like just knocks it out of the park. Same with Hugh Jackman. I mean, he definitely, he's very grizzled, and he's beaten down, and he's angry, and he's giving up in the world, but he still has that warrior inside of him. And the way in which he has like the layers of his character are great. And then the performances of in this movie are like I said, are great on the villain side as well. Like you have I'm trying to think of what his name is. His name's Boyd something, but he plays Donald Pierce, the main villain. I'm looking it up here, as if you can't tell. Boyd Holbrook, which people may know from the Narcos series, and he plays a very different role in this, the villain. And the thing that I thought was really, really cool about his villain is that he is more than happy to do atrocious things, but he's not happy that he has to do them to the people he's doing them to. Like, he sets up early on in the movie that he actually is a fan of Wolverine, and it makes sense because he's got his the way in which he sees the world, where he's willing to do pretty much whatever to get himself forward. Some people could have construed the character of Wolverine as being kind of similar to that, unless they were right there, because obviously Wolverine is responsible for a lot of deaths in this movie. So somebody looking at it from the outside, looking in, might think that he's very similar. And then you have Stephen Merchant playing Caliban, and Stephen Merchant is just always such an entertaining guy, but he brings a lot more emotion to this movie. He's not played for laughs by any stretch of the imagination, and you feel a lot of empathy for his character, and then a lot of disdain at various moments too. And just the acting across the board is great. And then this movie does not pull any punches. There is a lot of violence in this movie, and people meet their ends in pretty grisly fashion. And across the board, I just really, really enjoyed practically every element of this movie, and I highly suggest fans of the comics and fans of the character and fans of action and fans of movies, check it out. To me, it's just a must-see of so far this year. So obviously there are some people who aren't gonna like it, but I absolutely loved it. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen it, what you thought of it, if you want to see it, what you thought of my rambling review. Other than that, please hit that like button. It does awesome things for my channel. It gets my videos in front of people that may not be able to see it otherwise. And please subscribe. I love talking to you guys about movies, and it makes it so that you'll know that I have a video out, and come and let me know what you think of my craziness. And please hit that notification bell so you find out when those videos come out. Other than that, have yourself a nice day.